You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. And what a beautiful, oh my gosh. This is why we live up here in the mountains, is because it's always crisp, dry air, but normally I need a couple extra layers. I think I've had a vest on most this week. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I love it. I'll take it. You know, it's going to turn though. We need it to be cold in winter to cut down on the bugs and the weeds, and it kind of resets the gardens. Now I've cleaned up my garden to open some of those areas that I've had some mildew, where I've seen some bugs. So I'm cleaning up some stuff. I haven't pruned the trees back yet. The pole saw's ready. It's sharp, but I haven't had I've had too many Christmas parties. Lisa just had some things happen. So I'm helping her out. So but eventually I'll get out there. Probably between Christmas and New Year's, I'll kind of I got to work off some of these cookies. Go out there, just put a half day in. Actually, what it really comes down to, truly, I've got half a trash can ready, empty. I'm going to use it. So I work until it's filled. I try to stomp it down, and then I go, oh, that's enough for today. I'll get some next weekend. Every week it's sort of that way. I don't know. They probably have medication for that or something, but I just like filling up my trash can. And so not till it's overflowing, but just so it's full, get my money's worth out of it. Plus, it paces myself so I don't put two huge piles of debris, branches and leaves and clippings at bay. So some of it is composted. Some of it's like, if it's any kind of mildew or spotting or bugs, I do not compost that. I want that off my property. Also, big woody things, big sticks and branches, and I just trim those things up until they fit in the trash can and call it good, like rose branches. So I have not cut my roses back because I know cold's coming, but I've given them a haircut. So the core is there, but most of your roses are pruned back in the month of March. And here's the reason why. So if you open up that graft or the heart of that plant down where it comes out of the ground and that freezes, it can kill off the graft. So the roots will live, but the graft, those branches that come out of there from that graft, those are all your fancy named ones, your Mr. Lincolns, your Fragrant Clouds, your Henry Fondas. These are all plants that are grafted to look exactly like every other Henry Fonda that's out there. It's beautiful, crisp, yellow flower to it. A fragrant cloud, super fragrant. I mean, fragrant, as the name says, it's fragrant. If you don't want to expose that in the coldest part of winter, which is January. So I kind of wait. I trim things back because I'll give them a haircut, but that hard pruning back to knee height, 3 to 5 canes coming up. So all the fresh new flowers come out of those fresh new canes. I encourage that. That's where the best flowers come from. That's what I'll do every winter in the month of March. That's different down in the desert. They're pruning back right now. Here, we're waiting to the coldest parts. We're leaving that structure up to protect or insulate that graft. And that's why we're doing it. Trees, I'm starting to cut back some of my trees. I wish it was a little colder. I still see a few butterflies. The hummingbirds I've gone, but the bees are out. So I'm seeing painted lady butterflies. The monarchs have flown back, but painted ladies, the smaller butterflies, they're out. They're thick right now on top of anything that's blooming. I have these spectacular alyssum out my front containers. You could not put your hands around them. Overflowing this pot, this bigger round. It's on either side of the garage. They are in full bloom. They're glorious. And they have pollinators all over them. So it's kind of a fun thing. I tried to videotape that. If ever you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, even TikTok, I'll take that video and kind of upload it because it's fun. Yeah, many of those photos are of my garden or here at the garden center. One I've noticed that's confused, actually not that confused, but did you know that evergreen camellia, this is your classic, like you float blossoms in a crystal bowl and you just enjoy the fragrance and the color, that camellia. Most of them are tropical, but the one that grows up here is perennial, that comes back every single year. And if it's warm out, like it is this year, they'll go into bloom early. So it's kind of a bit early. So usually they bloom about a month, 6 weeks from now, but they've started to bloom here at the garden center and they are glorious. Oh my goodness. It's not unusual to have flowering camellias for the new year. I mean, it's doable. It's an evergreen shrub, gets about head high. I keep mine down maybe chest, hip high or so. I love them in containers by the front door, the back patio, because they just look so good year round. They like growing in containers, a little bit larger one. They're beautiful. And they're one of the very, very first shrubs to bloom in spring, perennial shrubs that to bloom in spring. They're beautiful with or without flowers, but they're in bloom right now. If you need to get out and get some fresh air, come to the garden center and just take a look. I think I've got 3 different colors. They're all part of the Ice Princess series. That's the name. They're so cold hardy. I think these models, they go down to well below 0. We'll never see how cold before they die out. We won't see that kind of cold. They just adapt really well. Here's a caveat. They love growing out in full sun in the winter. But in June, they're not going to like Arizona sun or the high mountain sun in the heat. So you kind of want to keep those out in more of a shaded area. They'll take some sun early morning into the day, but at midday in June during the growing season, they're not going to like that. So you can have them out this time of year in the sun, but better in the more that covered patio, back deck, the north side. Even when it's cold, it'll thrive with that. So there's places for it. But if you just want to get out and sense some flowers, some fresh air, you need a stroll in the park, and maybe I'll take a pansy home. Maybe I'll take some snapdragons because they're in full bloom. Maybe, but you don't have to. I just need some fresh air. Come visit us. It's fun just to see the winter mix of plants that you can actually plant now at the garden center, because these are the things that like the cold. They prefer being planted when it's cold out. So your spruce trees, your cypress, cedars, they prefer being planted now. Don't wait till summer. They like being planted now because they like the cold. They're kind of in stasis. They're kind of enjoying the climate that we have. The other one that I'm doing right now, I just moved some of my container plants, especially the really questionable zone ones. I grow a lot of zone 8 plants, like a red fishing hook barrel cactus or olive trees in containers, and my palm trees. They've all come into Mediterranean mountain cactus. They're all zone 8. They're many years old in my container, but one thing I do to them is I'll move them up underneath the overhang at the front door. It's kind of crowded up there right now, but the things that were out there, they needed some protection. I'm moving out into the sun. So my Tanioso pines, some of the funky maples, they might burn in June, like camellias, but they don't now. So I'm moving those out and I'm making a transition so I can protect my borderline stuff and things that don't care. They don't mind the cold, but they just don't want that heat of summer. I'm moving them back out. So I'm making this transition. And some of those pots, like my Tanioso pines, they're beautiful, but they're out by the street now. I made a change, but I need some color. So I added some yellow pansies out by the mailbox, and they are stunning. It's a bit of a test. I've got an electric fence that you don't really see when you're walking by it, but there is a little wire a foot off the ground. They're right out there where the javelina can get to them. Javelina love pansies. So I'm putting them right there as a test going, I wonder if they're brave enough. So far, it's been over a week. So far, they haven't messed with my pansies right out there because they're going to get nipped. It's not electrocution. It just, in fact, I shocked myself putting it up there, moving over the wire, putting this pot. I went, okay, you got me. So, but it does shock you. So you kind of move away from here. Don't eat my pansies. So far, so good. Okay, maybe after decades of the same fruitcake exchange, it's time to start a new holiday tradition.
A living Christmas tree from Waters Garden Center can be decorated and enjoyed for a lifetime, not just a season.
When the holiday festivities end, gather family and friends and plant your tree together for years of enjoyment.
As your family tree grows, have a tree that grows with your family. From Waters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott.
For a more fruitful garden, increase success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.